We're going to talk about Kanye West, who went on the Drink Champs podcast and said a bunch of insane shit.
No, listen, talk. Real talk. Hold up.
At this stage, I think it's just like varying degrees of exploitation, right? Like, you have these guys who are friends with Kanye but are clearly exploiting his mania for views. You have people like Candace Owens who are even worse because, like, they are the ones who are, like, literally using any and every opportunity to spread a white supremacist message through Kanye West. And obviously Kanye West himself is like not a fucking baby. He has individual responsibility. There is a point where like he's not a victim. You know what I mean? He's a grown ass man. He's like 50 years old almost. Like that's crazy. He has throughout many, many years, back when he was definitely better, he had an opportunity not to push away everyone who wasn't sycophantic. And I do think like deep down inside, his narcissism is kicking in and his interest in like wanting to sell whatever new thing is coming out, you know, another album. Now, there's some parts that I missed where he mentioned George Floyd. I mean, this is like the most disrespectful.
I watched.
From what I understand, it ranges from like hyper anti-Semitic shit to like very anti-black bullshit that you hear from Candace Owens, like verbatim. This is a Candace Owens line, from what I understand, verbatim.
Watch the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck.
That is just straight up white supremacist conspiracy theory through and through, top to bottom, start to finish. It's one that Candace Owens was like a big champion of on Facebook. She popped off for that because Candace Owens' entire purpose is to be the black face of white supremacy. Her job is to literally say the same things that like, Klan members and incredibly racist white people say, white supremacists say, but as a black woman, right? That is what she makes money off of, okay? That's why we say Candace Owens. Anyone and everyone that defends Candace Owens, to me, is crazy. There are lines I will not cross, you know what I mean? But it's not even a fucking joke at that point. It's just like, if anything, it's like she is literally a white supremacist.
Like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said they were...
Bro, it's not a documentary, man. It's not. You watched like unhinged ramblings of white supremacist psychos that purposely cut agitated propaganda to make it seem like a black dude who was executed in broad daylight by a functioning military arm of the fucking state. It was created to make you feel differently about that situation. And it was mostly created with the purpose of giving white people the opportunity to feel better about their white supremacist values and attitudes, because it was Candace Owens who made it. And that's her entire purpose. Her entire job is to literally make racist white people have the talking points and feel more comfortable about those talking points, because they can always turn back and say, well, listen, she's one of the good ones and she's saying it. But it's crazy. Like, you're 50 years old, man. You have to have some responsibility and some control. You know what I mean? Like, I get the fact that like he's in a vulnerable mental state and is being exploited, but also this is very much Kanye West trying to be as controversial as possible and so careless about these issues that are violent, like that harm black people less fortunate than he is. Advancing white supremacist values this way is making it a less safe space for black people across the board.
He reminded me of somebody else. Who you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. But I know that we lost him. And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him, like as a martyr. And we don't know why exactly. We say it's cancer.
But I want to be careful with this subject because...
Wait a second, but tell me, could you even really run this?
Dude, that's crazy. He's like, I want to be careful with this subject. Not what you just said about George Floyd, but what you were saying, what you're about to say about Virgil Abloh. That's where the carefulness kicks in. Not for like the 8 different moments where he's just saying like insane, unhinged shit about Jewish people. But now, like, holy fuck. Bro, if you wanted to be careful, you should not have cut this video or even released it or made him drink when he's like very clearly going through this fucking manic episode.
This interview, because Mav didn't run my interview.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They blocked me out. The Jewish media blocked me out.
Dude,
this shit lit, right? I'm lit, right? I'm lit. I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? JP Morgan, I put $140 million.
The JP Morgan thing, by the way, is another fucking insane moment that was weaponized by the likes of Kanye, not Kanye, sorry, Candace Owens, where like they were like, look at the Jewish banks that fucking locked him out. Like that was the implication. Turns out he wanted to take his money out. And was like literally naming fucking people that worked at the bank. These fucking banks don't give a shit, especially when you're rich. They work with literal terror groups. They just want the money. So for a bank to drop you when you have hundreds of millions of dollars at that bank, you had to go above and beyond. Turns out he did. Turns out he actually did. He literally went above and beyond. He was naming fucking executives and shit.
And the JP Morgan, and they treated me like shit. So if JP Morgan Chase is treating me like that, how they treating the rest of y'all?
That's outrageous, yeah.
And this murderers with Chase accounts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I am outraged. By the time people always, they want to calm it down.
Because no matter what, you didn't break no law.
I didn't break a law.
No matter
I didn't
what,
break a law.
The bank shouldn't be a judge or jury on anything that's
but
going on.
But this is, it's like a social contract. Candace Owens has a word for it, I'm forgetting. But it's basically like, they told Candace Owens she couldn't hang out with me.
The irony is, like, if he had listened to one single fucking adult that had his best interest in mind, maybe not personally his best interest, but like the bag in mind, he would probably not be here. Like, his ego is so crazy, man. It's not just fucking bipolar mania. He also already has like ego on super drive. You don't want me to hang out with Candace Owens? I'm going to hang out with her extra hard. You don't want me saying that stuff that she's saying? I'm going to fucking be the #1 mouthpiece for Candace Owens' takes. He has to be contrarian. The white supremacist and anti-Semitic ideologies that he's presenting in this interview are not born out of, a legitimate disdain or because he read the fucking Turner Diaries or some shit. It's literally because the sparking moment was his fucking egomaniacal tendencies and his bipolar disorder that made it extra worse. Like, he just straight up was just like, oh yeah, you don't want me to do this? Well, I'm going to do it extra hard. Like a child. And you're fucking 50 years old. That's crazy. The moment that you say you're a Nazi, or the moment that you say you're in defense of Nazis, okay, or the moment that you're like anti-Semitic, which is, of course, one of the best identifiers of fascist ideology, Holocaust revisionism and anti-Semitism are some of the best immediate identifiers that someone is a Nazi. The moment that you say that, the moment that you openly fucking agitate for white supremacist shit, you're done. A lot of these people might genuinely feel that, but won't say it for that reason. Kanye West, on the other hand, is so unhinged that he can't stop. He's just like, he wants to go and break those boundaries, right? He was talking about the Chinese. Oh, no.
To have the black vote be in groupthink and to not separate from the thought and being completely in line with the agenda of the left, the Jewish media, and the Chinese.
There's a lot.
What? What the fuck? Bro, he's not masking it. He's just going, the Chinese? What? I don't want to glance over the full Nazi take there where he just goes Jewish media, but what?
Jewish media and the Chinese.
There's a lot of
Chinese got something to do with it?
They got something to do with everything. This is my issue.
Oh, I want to talk about what FD Signifier said. Ye speaks his anti-black conservative talking points too cogently and effectively to blame it on mental illness. He may be in a state of mania to say it so loudly, but the rhetoric is his own. That's a really good take, I think, because like I want to be as careful as possible not to just like take all the blame away from Kanye West here, because yes, while he is in a manic state, it's very obvious that it's not just his mania that is causing him to say these things. Okay.
We made the White Lives Matter tees, and then when I put up the tweet, the DEF CON tweet, now he ain't releasing the tee because he's Jewish. And I'm like, see, this is my exact point that I'm making. Like, Jewish people have owned the black voice, whether it's through us wearing a Ralph Lauren.
I mean, this is like straight up. It's divide and conquer, the age-old anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Shirt or it's all of us being signed to a record label, or having a Jewish manager, or being signed to a Jewish basketball team, or doing a movie on a Jewish platform like Disney. And we understand it's like, I respect what the Jewish people have done and how they brought their people together. You know, they came into money through the lawyers when after Wall Street, when all of the like the Catholics, they wouldn't divorce people.
Right.
So the Jewish lawyers came and they were willing to divorce people. That's when they.
Bro, what the fuck? Who is even explaining this stuff to him? Like, who is filling his head up with this crazy shit? He talked about the White Lives Matter shirt, the Jewish media, and Planned Parenthood.
Love is from American Apparel.
Okay.
But I'm talking about put out my White Lives Matter tee. The White Lives Matter tee don't say nothing. It don't say DEF CON or nothing on it, right? I'm like, put it out. And he's telling me, like, yo, I want you to visit the Holocaust Museum. And I was like, yo, I want you to visit Planned Parenthood. That's our Holocaust Museum. I'm like, yo, I put my life on this at this point. Because they've been fucking with me too long. They put the crazy narrative out there. My Jewish trainer, Harley Pasternak, who's Lizzo's trainer, put it out when I went to the hospital, put it in the press. I got a bunch of friends that went to the hospital. It didn't go to the press.
Bro, the fact that he's just like constantly naming Jewish people around him is immediately alarming, okay? You don't do that. I'm telling you, even if he did this for, not white, obviously, because white is a concept of power. It's entirely separate. But even if he was like my Italian trainer, my Italian this, my Italian chef, like you'd be like, what the fuck is up with this guy? Like at a certain point, you'd be like, even if it wasn't like a historically marginalized group, right? Even if it was just like ethnically separating a group of individuals, you'd be like, what is happening? Like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this?
They did that just like they did in the documentary on the 3rd episode to say, we love Ye like the rest of y'all. We know he a genius like the rest of y'all, but sometimes you got to turn the camera off on him. So they'll go and get a dude that's supposed to be my friend that's been taping me the whole time and buy this nigga out for $30 million.
I thought you co-signed that.
I ain't co-signing, but you get used to that. Paparazzi taking a picture of you, you ain't getting no money off it. Right. You just get used to getting screwed by the Jewish media. And I'm saying, y'all done poked the bear too fucking long. When I wore the White Lives Matter tee, I had 4 SoFi Stadium shows.
You know what's fucking insane? Like, dude. I mean, everything. You know what's insane? This. But there are elements of what he's saying. If he just removes Jewish out of the equation, it makes sense. Like the exploitative nature of media, how executives, capital owners regularly are fucking exploiting him, exploiting his imagery, exploiting his weak moments, which, by the way, ironically, this is another moment of a capitalist exploiting his weak moment. And instead, because he has no roots within dialectical materialism, materialist analysis, he's like desperately seeking for a villain. And then he goes, and this is the reason why. He goes, who runs the media? It's not Jews, you dumb fuck. It's capitalists, okay? It's not exclusive to Jewish people. You're a psycho.
Shows. They cancel my shows. I said it's up. And let me tell you one thing. It's like if a black man is caught with something in the car or something, everybody in the car gonna go to jail with him, right? But if a black man can play basketball or rap, only he gets the record deal. So meaning like if one black man does something bad, all the other blacks get caught with him. If one black man does something good, nobody else gets nothing with him. It's a reverse for the Jewish people, right? If a Jewish person could repeatedly fucks me on a deal, it's just them. It's just the businessman. It's not the people. It's not nobody else. But
what? Bro, wait, what? He said anti-black racism that makes the black community a monolith when one singular black person individually fucks up is bad, but it doesn't happen to Jewish people, so we should make that happen again. He literally fucking said, bro, what we should be doing more of is making marginalized communities or historically marginalized communities a monolith. Because he's doing that. He is doing that. That's insane.
The 78 media outlets that called me abuser when I was trying to get that heroin addict away from my kids that was tattooing my kids' names on them, Skeet, Pete Davidson. They popping up. You know what I'm saying? It's like they Trevor Noah, not even from America. He just looked black. Right?
Wait, what? What the fuck? Why is... Wait, what? Why is Trevor Noah catching strays, bro? What the fuck? That's crazy. Yeah, he's mad about Dua Lipa too. Nah, Trevor Noah probably said some shit like Kanye West being fucking stupid, like way back in the day, and he held on to it.
Hell, gonna say, yo, Kim, it's gonna get dangerous. So they putting all that he crazy. He's so OJ. Nori just want the family back together. I just want the family back together. Kim is a Christian. On TMZ, I just saw yesterday, they said Pete Davidson and Kim have sex by the fireplace to honor their grandmother.
Oh no, dude, he's mad about... A lot of his resentment and animosity, unironically, could be like reduced to such petty fucking squabbles, dude. He's like, you told me I can't say that, I'm gonna say it. You told me, Pete Davidson's got good dick game. I'm gonna fucking think about that for the rest of my life. I'm gonna hold on to it. The saddest thing about this is to me that he says something kind of correct, like black people are systemically kept away from certain intel information, and then he goes off the walls and says it's because of the Jews. Yeah, exactly. This is a very common thing. Fascist rhetoric, Nazi propaganda is very insidious. It looks at complex societal structures of oppression, openly states them as is, and then redirects just at the end to a group of people that you consider to be the villain. All good conspiracy theories start off with a grain of truth. Kanye West is the goal. The goal is to get people like Kanye West to repeat that propaganda, and the way to hook people like Kanye West in is by correctly pointing out structural inequalities that black people have faced in America, and then be like, you want to know what the secret is? I'll tell you who's doing it. It's especially successful because Kanye West is a very successful capitalist. So he's already both conditioned into believing that the system works, but he has been brainwashed to believe that the system works. So we can't turn around and maybe say, maybe the system is broken fundamentally, like the organization of the economy is broken fundamentally. He's not going to say that. He's a fucking billionaire. He's been taught his entire life that black excellence comes from a black person becoming profoundly wealthy. More black billionaires. That's how you do it.
You're saying Jewish media, but it's the media... There's people obviously in
I'm not narrowing down. I want Jewish children to look at their daddy and say, why is Jay mad at us? I want all the kids that love my shoes and love my songs to say, why is Jay mad? What have you done to his people, to the darker Jews, to our brothers that has Jay speaking up, that had Nick Cannon speaking up, that had Ice Cube speaking up? What'd you say?
Would you say blacks is Jews?
Blacks are Jews also.
We gotta say we love Jewish people then. We love Jewish people. We got great.
Bro, he does not want to say that. What the fuck? Yo, this is why I wanted to watch a longer version of this, because somehow it is significantly worse when you, like, I thought maybe we were watching like clips out of context. Nope. It is literally way worse to watch the full context, where they're like, come on, we love Jews, right? Like, at least say, come on, we're admitting, we're even conceding to some of your theories and saying black people are Jewish, right? Just like you said, come on, just say we love Jewish people. And he said,
I love Jewish
Okay,
people.
so I'm gonna be like,
my homie's a Nicaraguan Jew. His dad came from Poland, escaped the Holocaust, and his mom is Nicaraguan. He would be like, I don't know what's going on.
And by the way, we haven't escaped the Holocaust. We still in it. Plan B, Planned Parenthood. We are still in the Holocaust. Even the information put in our music, the toxicity put in our music, is nothing promoting the idea of a king taking care of a queen and then taking care of the future kings and the future queens. It's just us talking about killing each other and Jewish people getting paid off of it. So I could be like a parent that I got a belt, so it's like, bow, I love you, but bow. It's I love you, but it's still up. It's up until we get it fixed. Until we get it fixed. It's not.
I feel like people are gonna. Oh my God, I feel like this is dangerous, man. This is so fucking dangerous. I don't think we've ever had someone this popular with this level of prominence talk about anti-Semitic conspiracies like the way that he is, so openly on so many fucking large stages. Like this is the type of shit that, you know, this is like not allowed in Germany. You know what I mean? We have moved way beyond. At first I wanted to laugh about this a little bit. You know what I mean? Take this not as seriously, laugh about it because it's like insane ramblings of a madman. But I feel like this is genuinely dangerous. This is ironic because like this bigotry is very similar in the way that it works, right? A lot of white supremacist people will say, "Oh, well, did they say the N-word?" Or while they were saying the N-word, was it with a hard R? Or while they were saying the N-word with a hard R, were they actually lynching a black person actively? Like they always look for a new goalpost to declare someone racist, and that goalpost never comes. And the same goes for people now trying to defend Kanye West's anti-Semitism. Well, he said Jew media, but like he thinks black people are Jewish. Like, did he actually actively do an anti-Semitic hate crime against a Jewish person? Was he doing it while actively punching a Jewish person? No. Like, you don't have to do the Holocaust literally to be anti-Semitic. This is the unseen clip.
I gotta be honest. When you wear the White Lives Matter shirt.
This one was not released, right? This one was like leaked.
It kind of takes away from everything from black people. Because what it is like the same way you wore the
Confederate
flag. And we're like, damn. And I know you. I love you. I fuck with you. You my brother. So I take this. And I'm a real nigga. And I'm a real nigga in the streets every day. But when the White Lives Matter, we know White Lives Matter. We know that. But Black Lives Matter, when we are getting killed every fucking single day, we have to notice that.
But since that happened, we haven't got killed less. We got killed more.
Bro, he's trying to debate lord this dude who, even with all of his like incessant dick riding, has like a moment of fucking honesty where he's like, what the fuck are you doing, man to man? He literally is just like, man to man, what are you doing? You're fucking up. Like the bare minimum in this conversation. The first sign of like pushback, and even that's being done in a sea of positive affirmations that are directed towards Kanye that he does not deserve. He thought that he was going to have a heart-to-heart moment. And Kanye's just like, nope, I'm going to do debate lording, okay?
Yeah, listen. We're really getting killed out here. Our little brothers, God bless our children.
The T-shirt's not going to change it,
you have children named Nori, Chicago. Imagine Nori in Chicago comes to you and says, yo, they call me a n***. And then Nori says to you, well, why they call me a n***? And they say, because they said black lives didn't matter.
No. White lives matter doesn't mean that black lives don't matter.
Yes,
right, that's the thing. That's what we need you to say. That's the conversation.
That's what we need you to say, yeah.
Bro, what the fuck? They're trying so hard to like, they're on an excavation mission. They're like, please just say something that's like remotely decent. Please, like we're begging you. You've been talking about Jews for 3.5 hours. Please just say something like decent for once.
I don't give a fuck if Devon or whatever is for anybody else. But guess what? Wu-Tang is still for the children. And that's what I want you. Fuck Black Lives Matter.
Don't say that. Don't say that. You can carry.
This is even more fucking sad. Yeah, it's somehow sadder that they try to get him to say something and he didn't really even say it. And they got so excited. He talks about Jews a few seconds after this. Stop. No, he did not.
Cancel. And you cancel by the Jewish media.
No.
Say public.
Oh my God! No! Felix Biederman had a really interesting and unique take that I had not considered before. A new anti-black form of black Israelite stuff that no one had ever thought before, which is true. I had not even considered that. Like, Kanye West is on the phone with Farrakhan while he's simultaneously talking about George Floyd being like a false execution and, a lie, like the Black Lives Matter movement being a lie. And it is actually unironically very interesting to consider because, like, the entire purpose of, like, black Israelite movements and things like that is that, like, it kind of revolves around black supremacy. Like, it is supposed to revolve around black supremacy, at least. Whether it has any sort of, like, genuine structural power or not is meaningless. Obviously, it doesn't. But at its core, the idea is about shielding the truth about history, about chattel slavery and whatnot, and to say at its roots that, like, black people actually have been lied to about their history, that black people were the ones who were dominating, right? And this interview got me to recognize that, no, despite the mental vulnerabilities that Kanye West has and all the people around him that are taking advantage of that, these are ideas that are now baked into his core identity. These are ideas that he just straight up believes. Like, it might be, I'm sorry to say this, boys, but it might be, he might be too far gone. It might be a loss at this point.
By the time people they want to calm it down.
Because no matter what, you didn't break no law.
I didn't break a law.
No matter
I didn't
what,
break a law.
The bank shouldn't be a judge or jury on anything that's.
But
yeah, even here, like, I mean, this is some pretty basic fucking broadcast etiquette, right? Like, if you're having a podcast like this on, and he talks about his dealings with JP Morgan and Chase, like, one thing to note immediately, at least exercise a little bit of skepticism and be like, damn, Kanye, like, they fucking work with drug dealers and human traffickers and shit. Like, why do you think they canceled it? Are you sure it wasn't something else? Like, you could have asked that question if you didn't already know. A broadcaster, a professional broadcaster, does the fucking research beforehand and will have that ready to go and say something along the lines of, well, it says here that you actually pulled your money out, and not only were you trying to pull your money out and, like, terminate your bank account with them, you were also doxing some of their higher level executives, which is the reason why even a fucking bank, which normally works with, like, literal human traffickers and, like, terror cells and shit, decided to, fulfill your request. Because that's the real truth. The real truth isn't that, Kanye West said some anti-Semitic shit like Jews control the banks and the media or whatever the fuck, and then the Jewish bank was like, yeah, let's shut him down. He's speaking too many truths. But that is what Candace Owens was implying. That's what a lot of Nazis were also using to craft more agitated propaganda, anti-Semitic agitated propaganda. Even Trump says Kanye West is acting too crazy and needs help. Minutes after the rapper's interview with Tucker Carlson first aired, Trump was already on the phone, sounding seemingly perplexed about what the hell had just happened. Former President Donald Trump has told multiple people that West is acting too crazy and that he needs some professional help, according to two sources with knowledge on the matter. New Axios, Ye, formerly Kanye West, plans to acquire Parler. Big picture, conservatives really started to build alternative media universe. Elon is buying Twitter, Trump is building his own platform, and Peter Thiel and JD Vance are funding Rumble. Kanye West is acquiring the conservative social media site Parler. Parler is yet another one of those failing conservative media sites there that has absolutely been dog shit. Now, this part of the conversation is really interesting when you think about it. It's like, oh, wow, Kanye West is buying Parler? That's crazy. Why did that happen? Oh, wait, that's right. It's because Parler is Candace Owens' husband's company. Parler's CEO is motherfucking Candace Owens' husband. This fucking dumbass doesn't realize he's getting shafted, dude. Here it is. This is the Parler CEO. George Farmer is the CEO of the social media app Parler, an alt-tech site aimed at appealing to conservatives. Singer Kanye West announced he'd be purchasing the platform after he was blocked on Twitter only days after his account was reactivated. Absolutely fucking finessed. Can you imagine? I mean, it's kind of selfish of Candace Owens to throw away the biggest layup that the conservative movement has gotten with respect to, like, media narratives by allowing Kanye to go full anti-Semite, which kind of gives the game away. That's one. And also simultaneously pumping him so fucking hard and then dumping him like a goddamn shitcoin by making him purchase from her husband this bullshit website. I mean, it's just, what are you doing? You got a gift. You got an incredible gift. It opens up the door to so many other avenues. Conservatives love the media. They care about culture. They care about culture so much. It's the one facet that they cannot dominate, right? They want to dominate it so much. And now they have an opportunity to do so because Kanye opens the door for them, because Kanye has a lot of fucking connections and he's still a moneymaker up until this very moment, right? And they just go and selfishly cast it aside. This is short-term benefits that you're hyper-focusing on for your fucking husband, and you're losing out on all the long-term benefits that you could have had by, ensuring that fucking Kanye West is like your most loyal soldier. Let's watch Nori apologizing for the kind comments on the Drink Champs podcast on The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ, MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the
and ask for a shirt.
Here, let's just start right here.
Yeah, I know. I did not realize that the George Floyd statements on my show was so hurtful. But I apologize to the George Floyd family. I apologize to anybody that was hurt by Kanye West comments, although I do support.
Wait, what the fuck? What about the Jewish stuff? Look. Black radio hosts and black podcasters are on their Joe Rogan arc. You love to see it. This is just how it's going to happen in every industry. They're on their Joe Rogan, I'm a free speech defender actually arc, which is surprising because, half the fucking shit that the Joe Rogan adjacent podcasts, and I mean like all fucking white male dominated podcasts, like half the time when they're talking about fucking black issues, like they're really talking about black people like disposable. You know what I mean? It's kind of ironic Charlamagne is having this conversation with Nori because Charlamagne himself has been on that shit too for a while.
It's not a misinformation. It's a lie.
It's
that was a lie. What he said about George Floyd was a lie. What Kanye West said about George Floyd dying of fentanyl and not the physical impact of the officer Derek Chauvin was just a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, Charlamagne is correct. It is just straight up demonstrable, proven in court. It's a lie. Just straight up lie.
And by the way, guys, I'm not, this is not Think Champs. This is Drink Champs. You know what I'm saying? This is not political champs.
Oh, damn, dude. Oh, never mind. Okay. I guess that's all right then. Oh, yeah, that's
Drink
cool.
Champs. So we purposely don't bring up politics. We purposely don't bring up religion because of this.
You were so hungry for the views, you openly fucking celebrated that more people watch this than the fucking, than Sunday football. And it was the Super Bowl for anti-Semitism and also anti-black behavior. It was crazy.
So Nori, people would say that, we're talking to Nori from Drink Champs, of course, who just released the interview with Kanye. People would say, well, why do the interview at all, especially with all the hate speech that he's been spewing the last couple of days, and he's been
you had Fox News, you had Tucker Carlson edit out all his anti-Semitic comments. You saw the shop say that they wasn't going to put out.
Yeah, you know what? That's even crazier. Nori literally did something that Tucker Carlson was like, man, that's too fucked up, actually. Because Tucker Carlson understands in order to utilize Kanye West as an effective speaker for the conservative movement, there are lines you can't cross. And those lines are the anti-Semitic lines, right? Those lines, you can say anti-black shit all day, every day. But anti-Semitism is a pretty fucking profound indicator that, you're totally on, the last rung of white supremacy.
And other than the George Floyd comment, I thought I conducted a very great interview. You know what I'm saying?
What? Bro, he talked about Jewish media like a million times, dude. What the fuck? That's crazy. They would literally be like singing about Balenciaga or some shit. And then he would switch it up like that and be like, but the Jewish media. It was crazy.
But don't say that though, because he still said a lot of anti-Semitic rhetoric in the interview as well.
Nori, I was going to ask you, when it comes to these George Floyd comments, we see their family may be suing. Is that going to include you in this lawsuit? Did you hear about that?
I definitely heard about it, and this is the reason.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Now I'm understanding why he is trying so desperately to apologize for this thing. Got it. Okay. Oh no, the George Floyd family is thinking about potentially getting litigious. Oh no, I'm so sorry about that.
What about, did Puff reach out to you?
You know, I'll tell you this. At first, I was disappointed in Brother Love because Brother Love called me and said, well, he dissed me. And I was just like, wait a minute. You know, this is so much bigger than you. And then he called me back and he said, you know what? Let's support free speech and support free thinking. Let's support it. And
it's not free thinking, though. That's the other thing we got to stop saying. It's not free thinking when all you're doing is repeating white supremacist talking points. You're repeating black Israelite talking points. Like, Kanye West is not a free thinker. We got to stop saying that. There's nothing free about his thoughts at all.
What's crazy about it is...
Dude, I cannot... Charlemagne is spitting. I mean, he's 100% correct, which is wild to think. This is a man who supported Pete Buttigieg in the Democratic primaries. When you got a dude who unconditionally offered support to Pete Buttigieg in the Democratic Party primaries, turning around and being the smart one in the room, like, something has been fucked up. When Charlemagne the God is the voice of reason, you're lost in the sauce.